Background of study. From an Islamic standpoint, Muslims are obliged to understand and grasp more than simple financial concepts. They must be aware of whether the tools they employ in Islamic financial institutions are compliant with Islamic law. Financial literacy is therefore just as important, if not more so, from an Islamic perspective as it is in the existing arrangement. The necessity that the contracts constituent parts abide by Islamic law serve as evidence for this. Next, problem statement. First, to determine factors influencing intention to use ICC based on three variables, namely benefits, fair changes, and religious motivation. Second, to determine whether benefits, fair changes, and religious motivation have influence on the intention to use Islamic credit card. Third, to examine the direct and indirect effects to IFL, awareness, cost and benefits, reputation and attitude towards Islamic banking on the intention of potential customers to use Islamic banking. Next, research objective. Number 1, to examine the relationship between awareness and the intention. Number 2, to indicate the relationship between reputation and the intention. Number 3, to study the relationship between reputation, between attitude towards Islamic banking and the intention. Number 4, to identify the relationship between benefit and the intention. Number 5, to analyze the relationship between fair change and intention. The intention. Number 6, to investigate the relationship between religious motivation and the intention.
Other than that, I want to present about the literature review. The conceptual framework show that all the independent variables affecting the dependent variables. This research study had 6 independent variables and 1 dependent variables. The dependent variable is intention to use Islamic bank, while the independent variables are awareness, reputation, attitude toward Islamic bank, benefit, fair change, and religious motivations. Awareness refers to a marketing term that refers to the extent to which consumers are aware of the certain brands and its product. Reputation is the public perception of someone or something, or the level of adoration or respect that is accorded to them as a result of their past action or character. Attitude toward Islamic bank is a cheerful outlook positively affect the propensity to adopt Islamic banking product. Benefit is the most important part of the global financial system. Is Islamic financial sector since it offers advantage in Islamic banking service and is profit for Islamic investment. Fair change is Sharia must be followed when Islamic bank apply financial fees or levies, while religious motivation is the outcome of the suggest conceptual framework for the intention to utilize Islamic banking. In contrast, the 6 level of intention to use Islamic bank should be attractive and benefit for consumer to use Islamic credit card in Islamic banking. The hypothesis of this research is that there is a positive relationship between all the independent variables and dependent variables.
I believe that there is no single research report is perfect research. It same goes with the research report that we have been using for our research proposal. So now I will talk about the research gap for the research article that we have been using. The first research gap that I found was the question regarding the respondent religious. It's not specified in the respondent demographic. The solution for this research gap is that future research just need to add the religious part in the demography of their survey for the next research. The research gap number 2 was the total of respondents that they get is too many. I would like to say that 100 respondents is enough. If there are too many respondents, the possibility of wrong data is high and it will make it difficult to analyze. So, for the future research, they need to minimize the total of respondents. Additional factor need to be added. It's also one of the research gaps that I found. If the additional factor for use of Islamic bank is added, this can identify more respondents to make a choice or about their purpose of using Islamic bank because of that. If the future research of the intention using Islamic bank is made, they need to add more factor and they also need to make the questionnaire for the factor. Lastly, actually the research need to be more focused to the non-Muslim. So this is also one of the research gap that I found from the research article that we use. from what I have been looking for Article 1, is be using a survey and a focus group method for their research. So if they want to use the focus group method of qualitative, it will be better if it were more focused to the non-Muslim user.
Next, the slide show about the research design. As we know, the research design means the overall strategy to utilize carry out the research that refers to a succinct or logical plan to tackle established research question. In this article, we use quantitative research, means a measurable investigation of a numerical information gathered in an overview to inquire about the utilizing strategies. For example, survey using questionnaires. In this study, the unit of analysis is involved whether Muslim or non-Muslim who are not primarily addressed when using Islamic banking were commercial bank customers. Next, the method and sources of the article. The questionnaires can be classified as a form data of a collection that's simple and easy to accomplish. The researchers using questionnaires in order to get the data and feedback since it is the most suitable approach to use in a large number of respondents. In this study, for example, used for the questionnaires like the question, I am interested to use Islamic banking. I am interested to use Islamic banking in the future. I know Islamic banking products and services are offered to both Muslim and non-Muslim, and many more. This question used in this form to get the data of the analysis in the method of sources.
In the sampling part for the population in the study of Islamic finance literacy user in Islamic banking is customers who are conventional bank user around UAE cities. It has 8 conventional banks to be selected, and the population size is taken from the total asset and branch available throughout the UAE. Meanwhile, the population in the study of the factor that influence the use of Islamic credit card in Islamic banking is taken from various people in Malaysia. The participants from government employees and GLS, self-employed individual, corporate group, and student. For the sample size to measure Islamic financial literacy in Islamic banking, 500 conventional bank user respondents represent the entire population in the study. Meanwhile, to measure the factor that influence the use of credit card in Islamic banking, the 102 participants belong to diverse groups of people in Malaysia. And next, for the sampling process, this study used a non-probability sampling technique. It was in the judgmental sampling method to obtain the data needed. In this analysis plan part, the data analysis method for 6 objectives is using Smart PLS Vision 3.0 and measurement model analysis. In this study, also use the descriptive statistic for demographic question, second is measure model, and lastly use the structural model to test the IV forward DV.
Contribution of knowledge. The study primary objective was to investigate the straight and non-straight consequences of Islamic financial literacy, awareness, cost, reputation, and attitude toward Islamic banking on potential consumer intention to use Islamic bank. The relationship between Islamic banking and IFL initially had a negative impact. However, it turned a positive after the attitude towards Islamic banking functioned as an intermediary. The result of the study showed that all respondents have a higher level of IFL, and there are significant differences based on gender, total income, and work experience. Conclusion: the survey results support the idea of intending to work with Islamic bank affecting consumer engagement, understanding, and loyalty. According to the data analysis, this variable creates a relationship between customer and Islamic bank, which is relevant and affect consumer loyalty. However, the result of the study also show the benefit can make it easier and safer to avoid saving and holding a lot of cash using Islamic credit card (ICC).